Hello everyone, welcome to today's class. In today's class, we'll start a new chapter named Inverse Trigonometric Functions. We will discuss NCERT section 2.1 and section 2.2, right? So let us start. The images, text, and other materials used in our presentations are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners. If you are the owner and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathi@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the content immediately. Please note that parts of the content may have been generated using generative AI, which is experimental. So let us start with the introduction portion 2.1, right? We have already studied that the inverse of a function f is denoted by f inverse, right? And the inverse of a function will exist only if f is 1, 1 and on 2, right? So inverse of any function f will only exist when the function is bijective, that is both 1, 1 and on 2, right? Hope you understood what is on 1 function and what is the on 2 function, right? If you have any if you have any doubt, you can ask in the chat box. So what is 1, 1 function and what is on 2 function? We have already discussed in previous classes that 1, 1 function is, suppose if f of x1 is equal to f of x2, then this implies x1 is equal to x2, then we can say that the function is 1, 1 function, right? Right, we can say that the function is 1, 1 function. And if codomain of the given function is equal to range of the function, then we can say that the function is onto function. Right? If codomain is equal to range of the function, we can say that the function is onto function, right? So if inverse of a function is existing, then both the conditions should be satisfied, that the function should be 1, 1 and onto both. That is, function should be bijective, right? Now there are many functions which are not 1, 1, onto or both. Hence we cannot talk of their inverses, right? There are a lot of function which is not 1, 1, right? And onto, suppose sin x, right? Suppose you take sin x. So the graph of sin x is this one, right? The graph of sin x is this one. So in sin x in its domain, is not 1, 1, right? Is not 1, 1. Because if you draw any line parallel to x-axis, it will cut the curve at more than 1 point. So sin x is not 1, 1 in its domain, right? So there are many functions which are not 1, 1, onto, right, or both. Hence we cannot talk of their inverses, right? We studied that trigonometric functions are not 1, 1 and onto over their natural domains, right, and ranges. Hence their inverses do not exist, right? So the inverse of the trigonometric function do not exist. Clear? So inverse of the inverse of the trigonometric function in their natural domain do not exist, right? So you can ask that, if domain does not exist of the trigonometric function, then why we are studying inverse trigonometric function? We are studying inverse trigonometric function because we will make sure that its inverse the inverse of the trigonometric function exists. So for that we will have to restrict the domain, right? We will have to restrict the domain so that the function becomes 1, 1 or on 1, 1 and on 2 in their in the restricted domain, right? Clear? So in this chapter we shall study about the restrictions on domains and ranges of trigonometric functions which ensure the existence of their inverses and observe their behavior through graphical representation. We will also see the graph. Like if we will restrict the domain and ranges, then like how the function will become 1 and on 2, right? Here. Besides, some elementary properties will also be discussed, right? So we will also discuss some elementary properties of the inverse trigonometric functions. Okay. So the inverse trigonometric functions play an important role in calculus. For this serve to define many integrals. The concepts of inverse trigonometric functions is also used in science and engineering, right? You usually see the use of inverse trigonometric function in the integrals, right? In the integral, and also like in the various fields of science and engineering, you will see the use of inverse trigonometric function. Okay. Okay. So let us discuss some basic concepts. We have studied trigonometric functions and their domain and range. So first we call domain and range of the function. First we will recall the domain and ranges of the function. Let us see. So these are the trigonometric functions. These are its domain and ranges, right? So we know that the domain of sine theta is from minus infinity to infinity, right? Domain of sine theta is from minus infinity to infinity because there is no restriction in the inputting the values of theta, right? We can put any values of theta in the sine theta, right? So like there is no value of theta for which the value of sine theta will not be defined, right? You can take any value of theta in radians. It will be defined sine 1, sine 2, right? Sine 50 degree, sine 30 degree. Got it? In fact, you can take in minus also, right? Sine minus 30 degree, sine like minus 2, sine minus 2 radian, like that. So for every value of theta, right? For every value of theta, the sine theta will define all the time, right? Therefore, domain of the sine theta will be from minus infinity to infinity, right? Here. What will be the range of sine theta? See, sine theta will always lie between minus 1 to plus 1, right? Sine theta will always lie between minus 1 to 1. Yep. So it will not cross beyond, the value of 1 and like below the value of minus 1. So like, you know the value of, the graph of sine theta, which is like this. Here, the graph of sine theta is like this. Here. So you can see that the upper part is 1 and lower part is minus 1, right? So sine theta will always lie between plus 1 to minus 1. Right? Sine theta will always lie between plus 1 to minus 1. Okay. Similarly, for the cos theta, we can say that again, its domain is from minus infinity to infinity, right? Domain of the cos theta, again from minus infinity to infinity. Because again, there is no restriction in putting the value of theta in the function cos theta, right? You can put any values of theta while defining the cos theta. That is, you can put cos 2 degree, cos 2 radian, cos 5 radian, cos 7 radian. In fact, in minus also, cos minus 7 radian, like that. Got it? So, cos theta will always be defined for any value of theta. Again, the range of the cos theta is from minus 1 to 1. Range of the cos theta is from minus 1 to 1. We know that, right? The how can we draw the graph of cos theta like this? We can draw the value of cos theta like this. Here, a graph of cos theta. So you can easily see that cos theta will always lie between plus 1 to minus 1, right? Upper range is plus 1 and lower range is minus 1. Clear? So sin theta will always lie between plus 1 to minus 1. Now let us see for tan theta. Let us see for tan theta. So tan theta will be defined. The domain of tan theta is all real value except odd multiple of pi by 2, right? Why we take except odd multiple of pi by 2? Because tan theta is, we know that tan theta is sin theta upon cos theta, right? Tan theta is sin theta upon cos theta. Clear? So when you will take odd multiple of pi by 2, that is cos 90, we know that 0. Cos pi by 2 is 0. Clear? Cos 3 pi by 2 is 0. Clear? All are 0. So denominator of any function cannot be 0, right? Therefore, we can say that cos theta should not be equal to 0. Right? Therefore, we will not include that point at which cos theta is 0. That is we will not include odd multiple of pi by 2 in the domain of the tan theta. Clear? And range of tan theta is from minus infinity to infinity, right? Range of tan theta is from minus infinity to infinity, because the graph of tan theta is like that. This is pi by 2, this is 3 pi by 2. So graph is like that. This is the graph of tan theta. Clear? This is the graph of tan theta. This is the graph of tan theta. So range is from, you can see that range is of tan theta is minus infinity to infinity, and domain is all real value except odd multiple of pi by 2. For cot theta, again for cot theta, you can see that we will take all real value except integer value of pi. That is, we know that cos theta is basically cot theta is basically cos theta upon sin theta, right? So this function, the cot theta will not be defined when sin theta will be equal to 0, and when sin theta is 0, sin 0 0, sin pi 0, right? Okay, so now the voice will be clear. So for the cot theta, cos theta upon sin theta, right? And sin theta will be 0. When sin theta will be 0, pi, 2 pi, like that, right? So the value of cot theta will not be defined. Therefore, we can say that the domain of cot theta is all real value except multiple of pi, right? And the range of cot theta will be minus infinity to infinity. Range of cot theta will be from minus infinity to infinity. Similarly, for the sec theta is, what is sec theta? What is sec theta? It is 1 by cos theta, right? Sec theta is 1 by cos theta. So the value at which cos theta will take its value 0, we can say that the value of sec theta will not be defined, right? So at what value cos theta is 0? Odd multiple of pi by 2, right? That is pi by 2, 3 pi by 2, 5 pi by 2, like that. At these values, the value of cos theta is 0. So domain of sec theta will be all real value except odd multiple of pi by 2, right? All real value except odd multiple of pi by 2. And range value of range of sec theta will be minus infinity to minus 1. You can ask your doubt in the comment section. You can ask your doubt in chat box, right? Okay. So at the odd multiple of pi by 2, sec theta will not be defined. Now range of sec theta is from minus infinity to minus 1 union 1 to infinity, right? Range of sec theta is from minus infinity to minus 1 union 1 to infinity, right? Similarly, cosec theta. See, cosec theta is, what is cosec theta? Cosec theta is 1 by sin theta. So cosec theta will not be defined when the value of sin theta will be 0. That is, sin theta is 0 when sin theta is 0 at any multiple of pi. So we will not add n pi in the domain in cosec theta, right? So domain of cosec theta will be all real value except n pi, right? And the range of cosec theta is minus infinity to minus 1 union 1 to infinity, right? Range of cosec theta will be minus infinity to minus 1 union 1 to infinity. Got it? Hope you understood the domain and range of trigonometric functions. Okay, let us move on. If you have any doubt, you can ask. If you have any doubt in the domain and range of trigonometric functions, you can ask. Okay, how range of sec theta is from minus infinity to minus 1 union 1 to infinity. See, range sec theta, what is sec theta? See, cos theta, range of cos theta will always be between minus 1 to 1, right? Cos theta will always be between minus 1. Here, so suppose you take any value in minus 1 to 1. You take any value in minus 1 to 1. Suppose suppose you could take 0.5. Clear? So cos theta can be 0.5 like. Now sec theta. Sec theta is 1 by cos theta. Clear? Sec theta is 1 by cos theta. So it will be 1 by 0.5. So it will be like 1 by 0.5 is 1 by 2. So value of sec theta is 2. Clear? So sec theta cannot take its value from -1 to 1, right? Sec theta cannot take its value from -1 to 1. If cos theta is from -1 to 1, then sec theta will be sec theta will take all the values except -1 to 1. Right? Will take all the values except -1 to 1. And it will include -1 to 1. It will include -1 to 1. So sec theta will belongs to -infinity to -1 union +1 to infinity, right? Got it? Also, you can write in this way that like E. The range of cos theta is -1 to 1, right? So you can take write cos theta will belongs to -1 to 0 minus, right? -1 to 0 minus union 0 minus will be included. -1 to 0 minus union 0 plus to 1, right? Like that. And when you will take inverse of that 1 by cos theta, then all the values will be inverse. So 1 by 0 minus will be minus infinity, right? Minus infinity. And 1 by -1 will be -1. Got it? Clear? Union. 1 by 1 is again 1, and 1 by 0 plus is basically infinity. Like that. Clear? So you can say that the range of sec theta will be from -infinity to -1 union 1 to infinity. So you are asking that why we are including -1 and 1. See, cos 0 degrees, cos 0 degree is 0, cos 0 degree is 1. Cos 0 degree is 1, right? Cos 0 degree is 1. 1 by cos 0 degree, which is sin 0 degree, which is sec 0 degree, is 1 by cos 0 is 1. Therefore, sec theta can take value 1. And also sec theta can take value -1 also. Right? Similarly. So, -1 and 1 will be included. Got it? -1 and 1 will be included. Hence, the range of sec theta and cosec theta is from -1 to 1, -1 to minus infinity to -1, union 1 to infinity, right? Okay, let us move to the next section. All the trigonometric functions are defined as follows. Sine functions. Again, we can take sine theta is defined from all real value to -1 to 1. Cosine function, that is cos theta. Cos theta is defined from all real value from all real value to -1 to 1. Tangent function, that is tan theta is defined from all real value except x, such that x is equal to 2n plus 1 pi by 2 and belongs to z to all real number, right? Clear? Similarly, cotangent function, that is cot theta. Cot theta will belongs to all real value except x, such that x is equal to n pi, where n belongs to z to r, right? Second function, that is sec theta. Sec theta will be defined from all real value except all real value, such that all real value minus x, such that x is equal to 2n plus 1 pi by 2 when n belongs to z to all real value except -1 to 1. Well, all real values except -1 to 1. So this is this thing, and we can write this one. This both are same thing, right? We can write this as well and this as well, right? Both are same thing, right? Okay. Cosecant function, that is cosec theta. Cosec theta it will define from all real value except n pi to all real value except -1 to 1, right? So we have seen the domain and ranges of different trigonometric functions. Okay. Now, inverse of a function f exists if the function is 1, 1 and 1, 2, that is bijective, right? For a function to be for a function's inverse to be exist, only if the function is both 1, 1 and 1, 2, that is bijective. These trigonometric functions are many one over their domain, right? Trigonometric functions are many one in their domain. We restrict the domain and codomain in order to make them 1, 1 and 1, 2, and then find their inverse, right? What we do is basically we restrict the domains and codomain in order to make them 1, 1 and 1, 2 and then find their inverse. Now, since the domain of sine function is set of all real numbers and range is from -1 to 1, we restrict its domain from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, right? Then it becomes -1, then it becomes 1, 1 and 1, 2 with range -1, 1. See, the sine theta is like this one. The graph of sine theta is like this one. So, see, it is not 1, 1. Because if you draw any line parallel to x-axis, it will cut at more than 1 point, right? It will cut at more than 1. But when you will restrict the domain, suppose you will restrict the domain from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, right? This is like minus pi by 2. This is from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, like that. Clear? This graph is from minus 1 pi by 2 to pi by 2. This is like pi by 2. This is minus pi by 2. Now it is 1, 1. Because if you draw any curve, any line which is parallel to x-axis, now it is cutting the curve at only 1 point. If you will draw any line parallel to x-axis, it is cutting the curve at only 1 point. So it is now 1, 1. Clear? So we are basically restricting the domain so that the function becomes 1, 1 and on 2, right? If the function becomes 1, 1 and on 2 both, then we can say that its inverse will exist. Okay? Actually, sine function restricts to its interval. See, you can restrict at any interval, that is minus 3 pi by 2 to pi by 2, minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2, it is easy, right? So if you will restrict this in any of these domain, it will be 1, 1 and on 2, right? It is 1, 1 and its range will be from -1 to 1. Corresponding to each such interval, we get a branch of the function sine inverse. The branch with range minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 is called the principal value branch, right? In all the range, it will not exist. In all the range, it will become 1, 1 and 1, 2. But the range minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 has been taken as a standard, which is called principal value branch, right? Which is called principal value branch. Got it? So from the definition of the inverse function, it follows that sine of sine inverse x will be equal to x, right? Sine of sine inverse x will be equal to x when x is between -1 to 1. And also sine inverse of sine x will be equal to 1 if x is between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, right? So in any case, you will take sine of sine inverse x equal to x, and like domain of x in this case will be -1 to 1, and sine inverse of sine x is equal to x if x is between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, right? So in other words, if y is equal to sine inverse x, then sine x will be equal to x. Sine y is equal to y. Sine y is equal to x. If y is equal to sine inverse x, then we can take sine y is equal to x, right? Clear? Okay. Let us move on. So let us discuss about sine inverse function. So if y is equal to f(x) is an invertible function, then x is equal to f inverse y, right? So x is equal to f inverse y. If y is equal to f(x) is an invertible function, then we can take x as f inverse y. Then thus the graph of sine inverse function can be obtained from the graph of original function by interchanging x and y, right? By interchanging x and y axis, that is, AB is a point on the graph of sine function, then BA will become the corresponding graph on the graph of inverse of sine inverse of sine function, right? Because sine and sine inverse, sine x and sine inverse x are inverse of each other, right? Sine x and sine inverse x are inverse of each other. Clear? So if you suppose take any value AB on the sine x, then it will become BA on the sine inverse x, right? Because it is sine inverse x is inverse of sine x, that is reflection of sine inverse x is basically reflection of sine x with respect to line y is equal to x, right? With respect to line y is equal to x. Thus, the graph of the function y is equal to sine inverse x can be obtained from the graph of y is equal to sine x by interchanging x and y axis, right? So we can easily find the graph of y is equal to sine inverse x by using the graph of y is equal to sine x by simply interchanging x and y axis, right? So see, this is the graph of sine x. This is the graph of sine x. See, this portion is the graph of sine x. Graph of sine x, right? So we have just taken mirror image of this graph with respect to line y is equal to x, and this graph is basically of sine inverse, right? So what we did basically, just we interchanged its axis, right? X-axis becomes y-axis and y-axis becomes x-axis, right? So we can find the graph of sine inverse x by just like taking mirror image of the graph of sine x with respect to line y is equal to x, because both are inverse of each other. This is basically a graph of sine x and sine inverse x, right? Okay, let us move. So like sine function, the cosine function is a function whose domain is the set of all real numbers and range is a set minus 1 to 1. If we restrict the domain of cosine function to 0 to pi, then like it will become 1 1 and on 2 with range minus 1 to 1. You can say that the the graph of cos x was like this, right? So here you can see that it is not 1 1, right? It is not 1 1, because if you will draw any line parallel to x axis, it is cutting the graph at like more than 1 point. But when you will restrict the domain, that is from 0 to pi, right? I have drawn the graph of sine x. When you restrict the domain from 0 to pi, suppose we have restricted the domain from 0 to pi like that. If we take 0 and this is pi, clear? This is pi, right? We will delete, if we delete all the values before and after that, we will delete all the values before and after that, because we have taken domain from 0 to pi, right? And again draw any line parallel to x-axis, then you can say that the function will become 1 1, because if you draw any line parallel to x-axis, then it is cutting the graph at only 1 point only, right? Then it will become 1 1 function with like it will become 1 1 function with range minus 1 to 1, right? Hence the branch with range 0 to pi is called the principal value branch of the function cos inverse. We will write cos inverse as from domain minus 1 to 1 and range is 0 to pi. Clear? Since cos and cos inverse are basically image inverse of each other, so domain of cos will become range of cos inverse and range of cos will become domain of cos inverse, right? So the graph of the function given by y is equal to cos inverse x can be drawn in the same way as discussed about the graph of y is equal to sin inverse x, right? The graph of y is equal to cos x and y is equal to cos inverse x are given below like this. See, this is the graph of like cos x and this is the graph of cos inverse x. Here, this is the graph of cos inverse x. We just like we have just interchanged the axis, right? Okay. Let us move the now cosec inverse can be defined as a function whose domain is all real value except minus 1 to 1 and range could be any of the following interval, right? Right, from minus 3 pi by 2 to minus pi by 2 except minus pi by 2, minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 except 0, pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2 except minus pi, right? So you can restrict the domain in all the ways, but the function corresponding to the range minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 except 0 is called the principal value branch of cosec. Clear? We thus have principal branch as, what will be principal branch? Cosec inverse such that domain is all real value except minus 1 to 1 union. Domain is all real value except minus 1 to 1. 2. Range is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 except 0, right? So the graph of y is equal to cosec x and y equal to cosec inverse x will be as follows. So this is the graph of like y is equal to cosec x and this is the graph of y is equal to cosec inverse, right? This is the graph of y is equal to cosec inverse x. Got it? We have just interchanged the, got it? Okay, let us move. Sec inverse x. Similarly, sec inverse x can be defined as the function whose domain is all real value except minus 1 to 10. And range could be any one of the intervals minus pi to 0 except minus pi by 2, 0 to pi except pi by 2, pi to 2 pi except 3 pi by 2 etc. Corresponding to each of these intervals, we get different branches of the function sec inverse, right? Corresponding to each of these intervals, we get different branches of the function sec inverse. The branch with the range 0 to pi except pi by 2 is called the principal value branch of the function sec inverse, right? The branch with 0 to pi except pi by 2 is called the principal value branch of the function sec inverse. We thus have sec inverse such that domain is from all real value except minus 1 to 1 to 0 to pi except pi by 2. Clear? The graph of the function y is equal to sec x and y is equal to sec inverse x are given below. The domain will become range here and range will become domain. So this is the graph of like sec x and this is the graph of sec inverse, right? We have just interchanged its axis. We have just interchanged its axis. Okay. Okay, let us move. Now tan inverse x can be defined as a function whose domain is R and range could be any one of the interval minus 3 pi by 2 to pi minus pi by 2 minus pi by 2 to like minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2 and so on. These intervals give different branches of the function tan inverse. The branch with range minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 is called the principal value branch of the function tan inverse, right? The branch with range minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 is called the principal value branch of the function tan inverse. Got it? So we can thus we can have tan inverse. Tan inverse can be defined from domain is all real value and range is from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, right? Tan inverse will be defined from domain all real value and range minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. The graph of the function y is equal to tan x and y is equal to tan x inverse x are given below. See, why we have taken open bracket in minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Why we have taken open bracket in minus pi by 2 to pi by 2? Because tan theta is not defined at minus pi by 2 and pi by 2, right? Because at the odd multiple of pi by 2, cos theta becomes 0, so tan theta will not be defined, right? Therefore, we have taken open bracket in minus pi by 2 and got it. So the graph of the function y is equal to tan x and y is equal to tan inverse x are given below. This is the graph of y is equal to tan x, and by just interchanging the axis, we can find the graph of y is equal to tan inverse x, right? Clear? We can find the graph of y is equal to tan inverse x. Got it? Okay, hope you understood. Let us move. If you have any, if anyone have any doubt, you can ask in the comment box. So let us move to the next slide. Again, cot inverse x. For the cot inverse x can be defined as a function whose domain is all real value and the range as any of the intervals. Range will be from minus pi by 2, minus pi to 0, 0 to pi, pi to 2 pi etc. Clear? In any of these range, the function cot inverse will become both 1 1 and 1 2. These intervals give different branches of the function cot inverse. The function with range 0 to pi, we have taken 0 to pi as called principal value branch of the function cot inverse, right? We have taken principal value branch. The function with the range 0 to pi is called the principal value branch of the function cot inverse. So with us we can say that cot inverse is defined from all real value except 0 to pi, right? Because we have taken open interval in 0 to pi because cot theta will not be defined at will not be defined at any multiple of pi. That is 0 pi at 0 and pi. Sin theta will not be defined. Sin theta will be equal to 0, so cot theta will not be defined. Got it? So the graphs of a function y is equal to cot x and y is equal to cot inverse x are given below. You can see. See, this is the graph of cot x and this is the graph of y is equal to cot inverse x. We have just rotated x-axis and y-axis, right? We have rotated this x-axis like this, right? X-axis will become y-axis and y-axis will become x-axis, right? And we can easily draw the graph of cot inverse x. Now see, it is bijective because if you draw any line parallel to x-axis, it is cutting the graph at one point only, right? Here, so it is 1 1 and on 2 as well, right? Yes, it is very important for JEE Mains. These things are very important for JEE Mains and board also. The following table gives the inverse trigonometric function principal value branches along with their domains and ranges. We will discuss the question also. How will the question come? We will discuss that question also, right? We will discuss all NCERT questions. We will discuss CBSE previous year questions, and we will discuss JEE previous year questions also, right? First, we are discussing about theory. Here, in this class, we are discussing about theory, and in the last, we will take 1 or 2 examples also, right? Okay. So the following table gives the inverse trigonometric function, that is principal value branches along with their domain and range. So sine inverse, the domain of sine inverse is like -1 to 1. Domain is -1 to 1, and range is -π/2 to π/2. Range is -π/2 to π/2. The domain of cos inverse is -1 to 1, and range is from 0 to pi. Range is from 0 to pi, right? You will have to remember these things, right? You will have to remember these things. Now, cosec inverse. The domain of cosec inverse is all real value except -1 to 1, and range is from -π/2 to π/2 except 0. Right? Why except 0? Because at 0 sin theta will not be defined. The sin theta will be equal to 0, and cosec theta will not be defined. Right? So range will be equal to -π/2 to π/2 except 0. Now sec inverse. For sec inverse, domain will be all real value except -1 to 1. For sec inverse, domain will be all real value except -1. And range will be 0 to pi except π/2. Right, and range will be 0 to pi except π/2. Now for tan inverse, domain is all real value and range is from -π/2 to π/2, right? For tan inverse, domain is all real value and range is -π/2 to π/2. Got it? For cot inverse, also, domain is all real value and range is 0 to pi. Right? For cot inverse, also domain is all real value and range is 0 to pi. Got it? Let us move to the next slide. We have some note points you can remember. Sine inverse x should not be confused with sine x inverse, right? Sine inverse and cos inverse have different domains. Why they can take same? Sine inverse and cos inverse have same domain, right? Both have same domain, -1 to 1. The domain of cos inverse x and sine inverse x is the same, which is -1 to 1. -1 to 1, right? At any particular, yeah, it's same for both. It's same for both. At any particular value, at that particular value, the values of cos inverse x and sine inverse x will be different, but that different value will always lie between -1 to 1, right? Got it? Suppose at a particular value, sine inverse has value 0.5, so cos inverse will have value something other than that, right? But that value will be between -1 to 1 always, right? It will not exceed 1 and it will not be less than -1, right? Okay. So you cannot confuse with sine inverse sine x inverse and sine sine inverse x and sine x inverse, right? It is not same thing, right? Sine inverse x is not equal to sine x inverse, right? In fact, sine x inverse can be written as 1 by sine x, right? Sine x inverse is basically 1 by sine x, and sine inverse x is different thing. And similarly for other trigonometric functions as well, right? Okay. Next, whenever no branch of an inverse trigonometric function is mentioned, we mean the principal value branch of that function, right? Here, if like no any value is mentioned, we will assume that it has asked about the principal value branch, right? And the range, the domain and range that we have discussed is called principal value range only, right? The range was principal value range, right? Next one is the value of an inverse trigonometric function which lies in the range of principal branch is called the principal value of inverse trigonometry, right? So the value of the inverse trigonometric function, which will lie in the principal branch, in the range of principal branch, then branch, then that is called the principal value of that inverse. You have to keep in mind and you have to remember, right? So we will start discussing questions. So, like first question is example 1. Find the principal value of sine inverse 1 by root 2. We need to find the principal value of sine inverse 1 by root 2, right? You need to find the principal value. Find the principal value of sine inverse 1 by root. How can we find the principal value of sine inverse 1 by root 2? I am giving you some time to solve this question. After that, we will discuss that question. We will discuss this question, right? First, you can try the principal value of sine inverse 1 by root and write the answer in the comment box. Arnav is right 45 degree or pi by 3. See, first of all, 45 degree is not equal to pi by 3. 45 degree is equal to pi by 4, right? It is not pi by 3. Yeah. So, he's saying pi by 3. Yes, it is pi by 4. Many students saying answer is pi by 4. Let us discuss. See, let us discuss how we approach this question, this type of question. So we basically have to find the principal value of sine inverse 1 by root 2, right? So you can assume sine inverse 1 by root 2 as y, right? You can assume sine inverse 1 by root 2 as y. Clear? Then what can we write? This sine inverse will go on another side, this side, right? This sine inverse will go this side, right? So you can simply say sine y. See, this sine inverse will go on this side and it will be sine y, right? It will be sine y. Therefore, we can write sine y is equal to 1 by root 2. Now we know that the range of the principal value branch of sine inverse. We have just seen that the range of principal value of sine inverse is basically from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, right? Minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, right? And we know that sine pi by 4 is 1 by 2. And also we have to check that whether this pi by 4 is lying in minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 or not. Here it is lying in minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 because pi by 4 is between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Hence, pi by 4 is lying in the principal value branch of sine inverse, right? And we know that the value of sine pi by 4 is 1 by root 2. Clear? Therefore, the principal value of sine inverse 1 by root 2 will be pi by 4. Clear? Principal value of sine inverse 1 by root 2 is basically pi by 4, right? This lecture is from the starting of second chapter. Right? This chapter, we have just started. This is first class of this chapter, second chapter. Okay. So I need to repeat. See, what we have done basically, we need to find the principal value of sine inverse 1 by root 2, right? Principal value of sine inverse 1 by root 2. So what we have taken, sine inverse 1 by root 2, we have taken this sine inverse 1 by 2, root 2 is y. Clear? Therefore, this sine inverse will go on the right hand side. It will become sine y, right? So sine y will be equal to 1 by root 2, right? Sine y will become 1 by root 2. Clear? And we know that the principal value branch of sine inverse is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. We have just seen this. We have just seen in today's lecture itself, right? That the principal value branch of sine inverse is from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Clear? And we also know from the class 11 that the value of sine pi by 4 is 1 by root 2, right? The value of sine pi by 4 is 1 by root 2. Clear? So we can write from here that sine y is equal to 1 by root 2 can be written as sine pi by 4. Clear? Sine pi by 4. Clear? Therefore, the principal value of sine inverse 1 by root 2 is pi by 4. See, you need to also check that is pi by 4 lying in this interval or not. So pi by 4 is lying in the interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So the case when if pi by 2 will not lie in the interval, suppose pi by 4 could not lie in the interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 4, then in place of pi by 4, we will write that value which will lie in the interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, right? Here it is pi by 4, it is lying in the interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, right? Hence, pi by 4 is the principal value branch. Pi by 4 is basically the principal value of sine inverse 1 by root 2. Clear? Any doubt? Okay, let us discuss the next question. Next question is example 2. We need to find the principal value of cot inverse minus 1 by root 3. Right, we need to find the principal value of cot inverse minus 1 by root 3. All this and write the answer in the comment box. You need to find the principal value of cot inverse minus 1 by root 3. Right? 2 pi by 3. What is saying 2 pi by 3? Others, please respond. What should be the value of minus 1 by root 3? Cot inverse minus 1 by root 3. Okay, some students are saying 2 pi by 3. Let us discuss now. Okay, let us discuss now. We need to find the principal value of cot inverse minus 1 by root 3, right? So, see, we will apply the similar process. We will take cot inverse minus 1 by root 3 as y. Alright, we will take cot inverse minus 1 by root 3 as y equal to y, right? So, see, cot inverse minus 1 by root 3, we have taken it as y. So, if we move this cot inverse on the right hand side, then it will become cot y. Cot y is equal to minus 1 by root 3, right? Cot y is equal to minus 1 by root 3. And we know that minus 1 by root 3 is basically 1 by root 3. 1 by root 3 is basically cot of pi by 3, right? Cot of pi by 3 is like minus 1 by root 3. Isn't it? Cot of pi by 3 is basically minus 1 by root 3. So we have taken minus common, minus cot pi by 3. Now we know that the range of principal value branch of cot inverse is 0 to pi. It is not minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, right? It is 0 to pi. But it is 0 to pi, right? But pi by 3, see, minus of cot pi by 3 can be written as, minus of cot pi by 3 can be written as cot of pi minus pi by 3, right? Minus of cot pi by 3 can be written as cot of pi minus pi by 3. And after solving this, you will get cot of 2 pi by 3. Now we have to check whether this 2 pi by 3 is lying in 0 to pi or not. This 2 pi by 3 is lying in 0 to pi or not. Yes, it is lying in the 0 to pi. Here, we know that the range of principal value branch of cot inverse is 0 to pi, and cot 2 pi by 3 is basically minus 1 by root 3. Hence, the principal value of cot inverse minus 1 by root 3 is 2 pi by 3. Here, so 2 pi by 3 will be the right answer. Okay, 2 pi by 3 will be the right answer. Cot pi minus pi by 3, see, it is minus cot pi by 3. It is minus cot pi by 3, right? It is minus cot pi by 3. So you cannot compare cot y and minus cot y, right? Minus of cot y. So to remove this minus sign, we have written, see, we know that cot of pi minus theta is basically minus cot theta, right? Minus cot theta. Here, cot of pi minus theta is minus cot theta. So in minus cos theta, to remove this minus sign in like minus cot pi by 3, we have written cot of pi minus pi by 3, right? We have written cot of pi minus pi by 3. Here, so pi minus pi by 3 has become 2 pi by 3, right? Hence the principal value of cot inverse minus 1 by root 3 is 2 pi by 3. Got it? Okay, thank you so much.